Oh my god! That is so good!
Hey, this is Coach MK here, back with another video. And this one is about Ludi Lin, the guy who plays Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat movie that came out recently. As you know, the Mortal Kombat series are very popular, and one of the most popular characters is the one that this guy plays. And something that caught a lot of attention was Ludi Lin's physique in the movie. And Men's Health got him to reveal his diet and his workouts to get in such shape. And so now we're gonna go over it and see if it's actually science-based and whether we can learn something to basically use in our own training and nutrition in order to develop lean athletic physique as well. So let's get right into the video.
When people see me do this, I usually get a reaction like I just bit a child for no reason. I like to eat vegetables as a whole. Now, I've only got 2 rules, really, that I follow in accordance with what I eat. I'm going to give you guys one right now and one at the end of this whole thing. So one rule I set for myself way long time ago is that I want to eat my biggest meal right after my workout. So this is the most protein, the most carbohydrate, and just in terms of quantity. If I set that as my biggest meal after I work out, and every other meal following to be smaller and smaller, whether I'm snacking or grazing, and whether I'm eating 6 meals a day, as I am eating right now, or just 2 meals a day because I don't have time. I put my biggest meal at the end of my workout. That's the only rule I follow. If I stick by that rule, it usually takes me good places.
Alright, so he says that his main rule is basically have the biggest meal after his workout, and there's some reason to do that. I mean, obviously you want to eat a lot of protein after your workouts, and eating carbohydrates is a good idea to replenish those glycogen stores that you've just used up during your workout. So it's a nice little rule to have. It's not super, like, it's not gonna make you ripped by itself. Obviously what he's trying to do here is maybe go into a calorie deficit in order to cut. He's not, as he's gonna explain later, he actually doesn't count calories, which is okay. With time you actually learn to sort of eyeball stuff, and as well you actually have a pattern of eating, and so if you eat the same stuff over and over again, you know pretty much ballpark where your calories are. That being said, if you're newer to this and you're not where you want to be, I would actually suggest counting calories at least for a period of time. Maybe try it for a week, maybe try it for a prolonged period like 12 weeks, and that's really gonna help you learn what the different foods that you eat contain, and that's going to show you how much calories you're eating, how much protein, fats, and carbs. And it's really going to help you and give you a foundation that's going to carry you throughout your fitness journey. So I do recommend actually counting calories, at least in the beginning, and also in times where you're trying to actually maximize your results. So for example, if you have a photo shoot, make sure to count your calories because you want to get, when it's time, like when you have a set date, an event, for example, a wedding or whatever, and you want to be ripped, you need to count calories in order to make sure that you're on track and everything is going well.
So what I eat after I work out, I eat a plant-based diet for many reasons. One of the reasons is because it's healthy. The other reason is because I want to. I have everything I need in a plant-based diet. My proteins are usually hemp, peanut butter. After I work out, I just mix these.
Okay, so he has hemp and peanut butter for his protein as his main protein sources, and we're gonna see later, because I watched the video, I saw that he was having some more peanuts and stuff. But basically these are the foods where he gets his protein from mainly. And so if you're vegan, this is a nice option, and if you're not and you eat meat and eggs and so on, I would actually suggest switching it up, because as you're gonna see, he has like you're gonna get bored of this diet pretty quickly. Like in the beginning, it might be fun, but with time, if you just eat peanuts and hemp all the time, and as you're gonna see, he's not really cooking it either, you're gonna get bored of this meal pretty quickly. So if you're vegan, I suggest trying out different stuff in order to find different alternatives to get your protein from, as that is very important. It's important for you to get 1 gram per pound of body weight per day, and that's quite a lot, especially if you're a bigger guy. Now, I haven't looked at his stats, but I'm guessing he's not too tall, and he's obviously not like huge. He's very lean, but he's not huge, and so his protein requirements aren't huge. But if you're a bit bigger, then what's going to happen is you're going to have quite a hard time consuming this much protein and just sticking to hemp and peanuts. So but let's continue forward.
I roughly know how much it is. I don't really go by numbers or calculate. This is 2 scoops of peanut butter and 3 scoops of hemp. They're complete proteins, especially the hemp is one of the biggest and best plant source proteins. It's got everything I need to be able to build muscle. And I just add some sweetener. This is stevia sweetener. Other times I've used dextrose sweetener if I need to have more endurance, aerobic exercise energy, or if I want to give myself a treat. I've been known to eat Lucky Charms or Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was a long time ago. I haven't had that in a while because, as you'll see later, I have some sweet treats for myself as well. So I just add this in. Now, this might be the weirdest part of my diet. When people make a smoothie, they usually put water in this. But for myself, I like to be a bit unique and a little bit different. So I just eat it raw dog, like a powder.
So obviously it's a very dry meal because he doesn't put water in it, and this is where he's getting most of his protein from. So as I said, if I were vegan, I would try to find different sources of protein. I would test out stuff because I would get bored of this meal very quickly. The thing is, he obviously likes it and it works for him since he can stay consistent with it. So that brings up an important point, and that is that you gotta find what works for you. So for example, I can eat eggs for breakfast like for months and not get tired of them. So find foods that are suitable for you and find the ones that are sustainable long-term for you.
Sometimes I don't have time to prepare food, so I've really learned to enjoy just the natural taste, natural goodness of food. Like a pumpkin. Earlier I popped this in the oven at 400 degrees for about 14 minutes and it's come out perfect, like a pumpkin cake. My favorite part of the pumpkin that a lot of you throw away is the skin. Eat the skin of the pumpkin. It is the best part of the pumpkin.
So basically he's eating a lot of vegetables. Obviously he's vegan, but this is actually important to point out because his physique is very lean, and the reason why he can sustain it is because he's feeling full enough not to overeat and go into a calorie surplus and gain weight. And why is that? Because vegetables take up a lot of space but are low in calories, and so what that does is it fills up your stomach. You have satiety hormone that is released when your stretch receptors of your stomach feel a stretch, and so you feel more full. So even if you're not vegan, it's very important to have vegetables, and I suggest if you're cutting to have 1 or 2 fists of vegetables with every meal, and that's really going to help fill up your stomach and make you feel satiated, reduce hunger, and help you stay in that calorie deficit so that you can lose that weight.
Alright, that's the simple stuff. If I want to give myself a treat, I look for people that are far more skillful than me, that's able to create these plant-based cuisine. I have Daphne Chang here. She's one of the pioneers in plant-based cooking. This is her domain and she is the master. Let's just see what she has for me.
So, what made you zucchini pasta with bell pepper, bean sprouts, and shiitake mushroom. Some peanut sauce.
It smells so good. Oh my god, okay. So this has some of my favorite things in it. It's got bell peppers, peanut sauce, scallions, zucchini that I chopped down on earlier, mushrooms. I gotta tell you, mushrooms is...
So basically he has more vegetables, and obviously the peanut sauce adds some protein. But as I said, his main protein sources are basically the hemp. I think he's using a protein powder made of hemp, and then the peanuts, basically, whether it's peanut sauce, peanut butter, so on.
My secret weapon. I think, you know, the world has a meat addiction because we evolved to love meat. It gives us the flavor umami, which usually we associate with meat. And basically, our brains are hacked to think that we need this meat and we want this meat. The more meat we get, the better. But for me, it's not the case because I rehacked it and I get my umami from mushrooms. So I'm gonna have a go.
So yeah, a lot of vegans like mushrooms because they do taste a bit like meat. So I guess if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, do try them out. And maybe if you miss meat but want to stick to that vegetarian or vegan diet, that's actually gonna help you.
Oh my god!
He really liked it, I guess.
That is so good!
Got you some dessert too.
What?
So these are chocolate truffle protein balls.
So basically, this is what I'm made of. Hemp, peanut butter, there's cocoa powder.
So again, even his dessert has hemp, peanut butter, cocoa powder, and water, I think.
And some water.
Yep. So he's getting all of his protein from basically two sources. If you can sustain such a diet, that's cool. Obviously, it's working for him, but otherwise try to find different protein sources because obviously that's kind of an issue with veganism and vegetarianism, just getting enough protein. There's nothing stopping you from doing that though, because there are a lot of supplements to help you. There's a lot of other stuff that you can have, like beans and legumes. They're really gonna help you up that protein. So you have also nuts, not just peanuts, different nuts. Peanuts are actually not a nut, by the way. But yeah, you have choices, so it is possible to get enough protein while being vegan or vegetarian. So that shouldn't be the reason that's stopping you if those are your beliefs.
Okay, and then for the rest of the day, you know, when I use snacks, I just have things like this, nori, seaweed. I pop it in my mouth. A lot of the things I eat are super dry.
So obviously he is Asian, so he's having a lot of Asian cuisine. For us Westerners, we're gonna have different snacks, so you're gonna have to basically find alternatives for yourself. But actually I looked at the macros for seaweed and they're not too bad. It's a pretty cool snack. Too bad I wouldn't actually try it.
As you can see. So I drink lots of water throughout the day. Look, we eat out so much now. We have a lot of processed foods. We forget how good food in its original form tastes like. I know what you guys are thinking. Being vegan, are there things that I do to make sure that I can have everything I need?
That's actually a good point. A lot of people with all the processed food get addicted to the super sweet and super salty tastes and forget what actual food tastes like. When you start dieting and get into this whole fitness thing, there's this period where you start eating more veggies, but you don't find them too tasty. Well, stick with it, because after a while, when you stop eating junk foods all the time, you actually adapt and you start feeling the taste of vegetables like bell peppers and tomatoes and so on, and it's pretty good. So let's hear about his supplement regime.
And I get a lot of questions about this. One is, where do I get my iron from? Look, there's tons of iron in this. There's tons of iron in spinach, broccoli, lots of green leafy vegetables, a lot of calcium. And right now, there's tons of things on the market that you can buy that are calcium fortified and it's completely 100% vegan. I do take some vitamins and supplements. This is my supplement plate here. I've got some probiotic, a multivitamin, some calcium, turmeric, vitamin Z, and a B vitamin, B12. That's what I do. I don't think it's necessary, but my workouts are quite demanding, so I have this just as a safety net. And I've basically gotten so good at swallowing things now, I can just pop this in my mouth in one go. I just go down the hatch.
Right, so he's having some supplements to help him fight off maybe potential deficiencies. Obviously, when you're a vegan, you might have trouble getting enough iron, calcium, as he says, and B12 as well. Especially the first and the third one are often found mostly in animal products, and so you gotta be mindful if you're going to be sticking to a vegan or vegetarian diet about getting enough of those, because a deficiency in either can be pretty bad for your health. Luckily, as he says, there are alternatives, and so get some supplements, make sure that you're not deficient and you're good to go.
That's it, guys. That's, in essence, my entire diet. I'm still amazed at how good that is, guys. Now, I said there was 2 rules that I follow. Number 1 is I eat my biggest meal after I work out. The second rule in regards to food is I don't fight what's inevitable. And if I'm going to do something, I do things that I can sustain for my entire life. And eating plant-based, staying away from animal products, is something I think is inevitable. Because it's good for the earth, it's good for my body. I feel good about it because animals are cute, and also it is the only thing that's sustainable. So that's it, guys. That's all me. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me anything online. I hope you guys enjoy this.
So obviously he's an advocate of the plant-based diet, nothing wrong with that. And he makes a very important point, which is that you need to have a sustainable diet in general. And what I mean here is a diet that you can follow long term. If you have some crazy diet, like a diet where you're hungry all the time, it's just not going to work, because you're going to get hungry, and at some point you're going to break, you're going to start binge eating, and then you're going to go into that binge purge cycle, which is a pretty bad thing to be in. Basically, you're developing a eating disorder, which is not good at all. So make sure to find a diet that is suitable for you, that you can follow long term, and you're going to get the best results with that, and you're going to keep those results, which is even more important. So a couple of thoughts worth reiterating on Ludi Lin's diet are the following. First off, you want to be in a calorie deficit if you're trying to cut and lose weight, lose fat, and get as lean as possible. As we saw his pictures, he's very lean. So if you want that physique, you're going to have to go in a calorie deficit, meaning you're going to have to eat less calories than you're burning on average. Now, he doesn't count his calories, but maybe in the past he has, because he knows how much he needs to be eating for his body to lose fat and stay lean. For you, you might want to go and count your calories for a period, so that you learn what the different foods that you eat contain, so that you can see how much you're eating and make the necessary adjustments so that you're in a calorie deficit. Second off, if you're gonna go vegan or vegetarian or whatever, and even if you're not, obviously, you need to be eating enough protein. So you need to know your protein sources, and especially if you're a vegetarian or vegan, you need to find good alternatives, because if you just eat the same 2 foods, you're probably going to get bored of them, and that's not gonna help you stick with your diet, obviously. So you need to get around 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. of protein. The third point worth remembering is eat a lot of vegetables on a cutting diet. What you want to do is fill up your stomach with low-calorie foods, and vegetables are just that, and they're very healthy as well. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals, so make sure to eat 1 to 2 fists of vegetables with every meal if you're having troubles with hunger, and that's really going to help you suppress that hunger, minimize it, and basically stick with your calorie deficit so that you can see the results that you're after. And finally, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, what you want to do is make sure that you don't have any deficiencies in vitamins and minerals. So what you might want to do is take an iron supplement, maybe take a B12 supplement if you're not getting enough, or you fear that you're not getting enough of those, because it's very important to not have deficiencies. By the way, if you're having trouble with burning off the fat and developing a leaner, more athletic physique, then do check out the link in my description for my program, where I personally take you by the hand and help you with your nutrition and with your training so that you can burn off the fat, develop that lean athletic physique that you want, and be confident with it, and be sure that you're going to keep it, because you're going to build solid habits in regards to your training and nutrition, so that you can have that long-term sustainability factor as well. So check out the link in the description. With that being said, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to get more videos on training and nutrition from me. And now what you can do is watch these videos next to further your knowledge in training and nutrition.